My name is Hailey Hartwell, and this is Jack Payne, and he's our Grow Team Advisor for Central Alberta. Jack, we're here today at our Xtreme Site. Do you want to speak to something that we have in there that's a little bit different for our area, but a good sustainable choice for many reasons, and that's chickpeas?
Yeah, so we've included chickpeas in the trial this year. From the perspective, it's a crop that you can diversify your rotations with. It's another opportunity to grow another crop. They're usually grown under contract, so you've got a fixed price, so you kind of know what you're getting at. From a sustainability point of view, I mean, any kind of a pulse crop is good to include in the rotation because they fix their own nitrogen, less inputs in terms of fertilizer, that type of thing. Also, though, the fact they're going to rotate your crop. Other diseases, they won't be a host to some other diseases that we're going to run into in canola. And really, from a management point of view, different. You're going to change up the herbicides you're going to use, and that's good for herbicide rotation. So, they're a good crop to include in the rotation just to break up the cycle of diseases and pests and rotate your herbicides.
It's good. And a few key points around their preference for, preference for field type and soil type. Right?
Yeah, so chickpeas are a great option for the dark brown soil zone. They're well adapted to this area of the province. They're not a great crop when you start getting into the black soil zone because they tend to prefer drier conditions. The other thing with chickpeas, we like to have loam soils. When you get on real heavy soils, they tend not to prefer heavy soils because of you always run the risk of too much moisture. Chickpeas, like lentils, do need moisture, but they don't need an excessive amount of moisture because that prolongs the maturity and you'll end up with a delayed harvest. Mm-hmm. The other aspect, I guess, with chickpeas is try and choose a site that's relatively weed-free. Don't set yourself up for failure. There's not a lot of herbicide options that you can use on chickpeas. They're not a great competitive crop early on, so you want to try and choose a site that's relatively clean of weeds so that you set yourself up for success.
Perfect. And another piece too to be cautious of is potential residual herbicides as well.
Exactly. If there's any kind of residual herbicide, when you look at when they do tests for residual herbicides, they often use legume crops as the bioassay to test for it because they are so sensitive to any kind of residual carryover. So yeah, be very careful about using any residual products from prior crops and make sure you know what you've had in your rotation.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Jack.
Okay.
That's good.